Hello everyone, I am Shashikala, Facilitator, Science Department at ML Khanna DAV Public School, Sector 6, Dwarka, New Delhi. This video tutorial is for students of Class 4 and the topic of science which we'll be discussing today is Chapter 4, Plants Around Us. So children, you all know that different types of plants are found in our environment and our earth has different types of landforms or habitats for these plants. So you must be wondering, what is a habitat? A habitat is a place where any living thing lives most comfortably. Either plants, animals, any living thing needs a place to grow and live comfortably. That is called a habitat. And we know that plants grow in different places. And when we see the habitats, there are two main categories, that is the land and the water. The plants which grow on land are called terrestrial plants, whereas the plants which grow in water are called aquatic plants. When we see about the terrestrial habitat, there are different types of landforms. You see, there are mountains and hills, there are plains which are green and flat lands, and there are dry desert lands, and we also have marshy areas which are waterlogged, and coastal areas and other areas which receive heavy rainfall, which are the hot and wet regions, and of course the water bodies, may it be ponds, lakes, rivers, streams, oceans, seas, they all come in the category of aquatic habitats. Now, first let us discuss in detail about the terrestrial plants. The plants which grow in different types of landforms are called terrestrial plants. So we will be discussing about each habitat in detail now. The first habitat which we will be discussing is the plants which grow on hills. The plants which grow on hills have to face high speed winds and the weather is also very cold. So they have certain adapting features for this. The body is conical in shape. The structure of the plant is having such a shape so that the snow which falls will slide easily and fall on the ground. Also, the needle-shaped leaves does not allow the snow to settle on them, and so the plant is protected from the severe weather conditions. And examples of such plants are pine, spruce, fir, deodar, cedar, etc. So let us see a few images of these different types of plants growing on hills. Here you have the pine trees. These are the fir trees, which are also used in Christmas decoration. And you have the spruce trees. So you see the needle-shaped leaves of the pine trees and the fir trees. And you have the cones inside which the seeds of these plants develop so that they are not exposed to the harsh weather conditions. Now, here you see a small scene where some children are visiting a hill station. So, when you visit a hill station, you always wonder why the trees are looking like an inverted ice cream cone. But now you all know this helps the snow to slide easily and fall on the ground. Okay, now we shall discuss about the plants which grow in the plains or the flat lands. The plants which grow in plains have many branches and flat, broad leaves to catch the sunlight for photosynthesis. Many of these plants grow in warm climate in the plains, and during autumn and winter they shed most of the leaves to protect themselves from the cold winds and loss of moisture. Examples of such plants are neem, peepal, ashoka and mango. So, again, when you visit plains during the autumn or winter season, you may wonder why the trees are bare, there are no leaves. But now you know the answer that these trees they shed their leaves in the winter. That is why they appear to be bare. Now we will be discussing about the next habitat, and the plants which grow in the hot and wet regions are also called evergreen plants. This is because they have large number of leaves and they shed the leaves gradually, not at the same time as in the plants of plains. Also, these plants do not have a thick bark because already the area is filled with moisture in the air. So there is no need to worry about the loss of moisture. Examples of such plants are rubber, teak, rice, cotton, pepper, etc. Now we will be discussing about the plants growing in marshy areas. What is a marshy area? A marshy area is one where the water covers the ground, or that is the soil is filled with water. Mostly you find marshy areas near the seashore where rivers empty into the sea. Also, the plants which grow in marshy areas are called mangroves. The trees like sundari trees, cattails, caryop, papyrus are all the plants which we find in marshy areas. There is a special feature which we see in the plants which grow in marshy areas. Because the soil is filled with water, the roots are not able to get air to breathe. So, they come out of the soil to get air from the atmosphere. They are called as breathing roots. Next, we will be discussing about plants which grow in deserts. Plants growing in deserts, they store water in the stems. Because desert is a place which has very less rainfall throughout the year, they have to preserve whatever water they get. So, the desert plants do not have leaves, because of which water loss can be minimized. And in place of the leaves, they have sharp thorns. They are actually modified leaves. It also protects the plants from being eaten by other animals which roam in the desert. The fleshy stem is green and carries out photosynthesis, and these plants also have roots which grow very deep and spread out to gather any water which is available under the soil. Examples of desert plants are cactus, bubble, kikar. And when you visit a desert area, you must have seen camels chewing on cactus plant. Of course, camels can eat the cactus plant. Like you see here in the scene, the baby camel is asking, it is feeling thirsty and wants to eat some plants, and the mother is advising that they are thorny but you have to chew it carefully. Camels have special projections in their mouth which protect them from the sharpness of the cacti thorns. Now we will be discussing about the next habitat, that is the aquatic habitat, and the plants which grow in this habitat, which are the aquatic plants. The word aqua means water. So the plants which grow in water bodies are called aquatic plants, and examples are lotus, pondweed, water lettuce, etc. So when we discuss about aquatic plants, they are classified into two main categories: floating plants and underwater plants. The floating plants are further classified into free floating plants and fixed plants. Now, let us discuss about each category in detail. Free floating aquatic plants are those plants which are not attached to any surface. They float freely on the water, and this is possible because their stems and leaves have air cavities. So, the plants are light like a balloon and are able to float on water. And examples are water hyacinth, duckweed, and water lettuce. When we come to fixed aquatic plants, their roots and stem is found under the water and the root is attached to the water bodies. Their stems have air spaces and the leaves are broad which have a waxy coating to prevent them from getting spoiled by being in water continuously. And here you see the examples of lotus water lily and also the stem of the lotus with the air cavities in it. Now we will discuss about the plants which are completely under the water. They are the underwater plants. They are totally submerged under the water. They have pointy strap-like leaves, like ribbons, to withstand the water current. They perform photosynthesis under the water, and so they take the carbon dioxide released by other aquatic organisms like fish and other water animals, and they release oxygen for these aquatic animals. So these play a major role in the environment, in the aquatic environment for these animals. And now let us summarize what we have learned about the habitat of plants in this chapter. Habitat of plants can be classified into two main categories: terrestrial, that is land, and aquatic, that is water. In terrestrial habitat, we have further categories like plants which grow on hills, plants which grow on plains, plants which are found in hot and wet regions, and plants which are found in deserts, and plants which grow in marshy areas. When we see the plants which grow on hills, we have examples like pine, cedar, spruce, and the plants which grow in plains are mango, neem, banyan, etc. In hot and wet region, we find plants like coconut, teak, rubber, and these plants are also evergreen plants because their leaves are found throughout the year. And desert plants are cactus, kikar, etc. In marshy areas, you find the mangroves which have the breathing roots. And when we discuss about the aquatic plants, there are two categories: the floating plants and the underwater plants. Floating plant is further divided into two categories: free floating plants and fixed plants. Free floating plant examples are duckweed, water hyacinth, and fixed plant category we have lotus and water lily. So now we know that plants are found in many different types of places and they have special features which help them to adapt to those conditions. Now, we will be discussing about another topic, that is cultivation of plants. We grow some plants for our needs, and the special plants which are grown in fields for our needs by farmers are called cultivated plants. So you have wheat, rice, sugarcane, maize, etc., which are grown in a huge field, and these provide food to us and they are very important to us. So let us see what are the different steps involved in cultivating these crops. The first step involved in cultivation is preparing the land, and the land has to be prepared by making the soil loose so as the seeds can grow into new plants. And this is done by a process called plowing. Plowing is done using a tractor nowadays, but in earlier times it used to be done by a farmer with his plow and bulls which are used to pull the plow. And the second step of cultivation involves sowing of the seeds. The seeds have to be sown in such a way that there is adequate space in between so that the plants can grow healthily and they get proper sunlight and nutrition. And the third step is watering or irrigation of fields. And the next step is adding manure and fertilizers which provides extra nutrients for the crops. And the next step is weeding. Weeds are undesirable plants which can harm the growth of cultivated plants. And how are they harmful? They consume the water and nutrients which are meant for the cultivated plants. And so, due to the competition, the cultivated plants may not get sufficient water and nutrition, and their growth can be stopped or harmed. And that is why the weeds that are the undesirable plants have to be removed by the process called weeding. And the final step in the cultivation process is harvesting of the crops once they are mature. After harvesting the crops, the farmer sells the products in the market. So now you know the steps of cultivation and how difficult it is to cultivate the crops. And so remember that food items should never be wasted. And thanks for watching this video.